I mean, there is. It's hard to know why. It says you direct me. You direct me to the devastation caused by the tornado. But like I thought, like is I didn't. But without let's assume it's not like. Let me not be cynical and assume it's like something to do with like our thing that's actually like it's a, to it's a for a reason. Okay, well, like here's, I mean, we could say this about that. I mean that the reason there's a lack there's a lack of federal funding to the states for things like this for like rebuilding, but that's and that what would why would you be direct your narrative there? Well, I said, well, this is it's true. No one knows it. Like, because you have to be in like you just so there is what's called like the there's a part of this the ideological mission to starve the state is like that there aren't like right like federal funding for like disaster relief, and that's just the kind of thing under the neoliberal structural adjustment that like has been done like it, but that's purely ideological. Like, starve the state, meaning like things like federal funding that places where you need federal funding, like to rebuild, like after a disaster, that's the kind of thing that was like eliminated starting, especially in the '90s, but starting maybe like in the '80s, major structural adjustment to our economy. That's part of the neoliberal project. That's why there isn't proper new. So it's why New Orleans is never rebuilt. That's why the rebuilding efforts after something like this don't go there. That's an ideological economic agenda. But that part is really ideological. That is, it has no like logical purposes. Cut back on something like that. That's not like getting rid of the I mean like that's not like people talk about different things they would cut back or systems. Not like federal funding for disasters. But that's one thing you might be directing me over to, and that you're sort of knocking on this. There's a thing called the neoliberal city. I mean, it's like it's a whole way of doing things, but there isn't much national. I just looked like actually even in the paper that would have like you'd think would like have something on that. Like no, I mean it's the best thing today is like well our federal funding for disasters and rebuilding needs to be reformed, but it's like Congress is slow to do such things. Well, that's not really. It's not reform. They are reforms. It's scaled back massively, and that's something that's supported by the Congress. Like they're that way of thinking is permeated the whole like you know the whole government. The idea of like starve the federal government. That's part of it. Or driving into people's heads over years and years of like the government is sort of like the enemy. You want to this is part of this like smaller government thing, but not where it matters. Like they shouldn't doesn't make sense to do that. The government that would be the kind of thing, but um, the financial crisis makes it like worse too. But that's like all we could say about that. It's if you feel don't it's like don't be it's a terrible disaster. It's like a just start talking about something else, but it's true, like rebuilding efforts and those kind of things, you know, are not. It's part, but yeah, it's part of a project that should stop.